Today is Christmas Day. There are several Gospels passages that we could choose depending on what time on Christmas Day we celebrate the Eucharist. I've chosen the Gospel of John. It's the prologue, chapter 1, verses 1 through 18. John's prologue offers us a wonderful, subtle, profound, and practical meditation on communication. It reminds us that God, in a very deep sense, is communication, is manifestation, is revelation. And God is constantly present amongst us, communicating, manifesting, revealing the divine self. We're also reminded that, as made in the image and likeness of God, this is our vocation too. To be the communication of God, to be the manifestation of God's very being. Listen again to the words right at the beginning of John's Gospel. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word was God. Nothing was made except through the Word. The Word, the communication, the speech of God, the utterance, the proclamation, the announcement. Here am I, and I love you. I think, in essence, there's one question that God communicates, that God as communication puts before us, is there for us to listen to and act on every moment of every day in all circumstances. God's question is this: will you let me love you? Will you let me communicate my very being to you? Will you become part of my communication in the world? Communication ultimately is given through us, not to us or by us. Now, clearly, we don't always live up to this vocation. Our communication can be very loving and affirming and strengthening and uplifting and revealing of truth and goodness and beauty, and remind people that they are children of God, in effect, if they care to reflect on it. Aren't we all aware that our communication can be much short of that? Even communications in hate, denigration, pulling down, tearing up, hiding the truth rather than revealing it. That's possible. This is one of the major crises, if you like, partings of the way in the human journey. Do I become the communication, what is good and true and beautiful? In other words, part of God's very communication, or something else? Communication, in its best sense, is given through us, not by us. I'd like to share with you a little piece from a novel. It's about a young man who experiences what it means to love a young woman. He has this communicated to him through his experience. The girl at Buzz Marchant's had a squeezed shut face. She was a good girl, no doubt, pretty, kind in the usual ways. Not intelligent, no, but not all saints were intelligent either. The thing was, he struggled to get hold of it, nail it down once and for all. But again it came merely to this: she had a face that marked her, singled her out, not as the bearer of any particular virtue or defect, but as simply the bearer of her singleness. In adolescent dreams, one coupled with radiant beauties, with indefinite and lovely faces, But then one day it all turned real. A girl one knew, with a name, brittle hair, a chin just a little too deeply cleft. That was love, if it was anything. Not the other. Not the sunlight, but the sunlight entrapped in the cloud. At the very end of today's gospel, we find a moment of the sunlight entrapped in the cloud. No one has ever seen God, John says. It is God, the only Son, who is close to the Father's heart, who has made him known. Christmas is preeminently the celebration of the birth among us of the one who is close to the Father's heart. This is the ultimate communication, the ultimate gift, to be enlightened by this truth, to be informed by this truth. This is Christmas. In the busyness of Christmas, with all the usual stresses and strains and noise, that's pretty well unavoidable, actually. But it can be a place of forgetfulness. We can forget the greatest gift of all in a gift-giving season. That would be the ultimate irony, would it not? Here's a little suggestion. Approach Christmas deliberately, whether it's the gift buying, preparation of meals, the wrapping of gifts, the dealing with the stresses and strains of the family gathering, whatever it is. Be deliberate. Pay attention. Pay attention to the deeper reality, because in this incarnational reality, God is gently communicating a question to you. Will you let me love you? I pray every blessing on you all. On the 1st of January, I will be going on 6 months sabbatical. So this is the last of my video homilies for a time. Let us pray for each other. God bless us all in these upside down, topsy-turvy days.